What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, C-Dup, aka Crit Whit, coming at you guys this Friday morning. This video is going to be a little different. It's going to be something that I touched on a while ago, but I wanted to share it again because the channel is growing and we're just underneath 700 subscribers. And I want to first and foremost say I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate the comments. But I wanted to share with you all again how your boy C-Dub got into cycling. And I wanted to add a little to it by sharing with you all how I got into bicycle racing specifically. So sit back, relax, and enjoy more from your boy C-Dub, aka Crit Whit. Peace. All right, beautiful people, so let's talk. So again, I want to thank you all for clicking these vids, for taking the time out of your day to watch my 7-minute to almost 20-minute, if not even the 40-minute videos, the commentaries. I appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. I thank you all for your support. I really, really do. So just want to share with you guys the story of how I got into cycling again. And in the military, been in the military now for 17 years, and hey, morning. Good morning.
Crit Whit,
Hey,
right?
yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Hey, got some love going on right now. Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? My dog's not gonna like this. Oh, you just at home right now, huh? I know. Getting love. All right, man. Hey, have a blessed day. All right, y'all. So that was awesome. So I got into cycling because I had, because first and foremost, because I used to be an athlete. So I was looking for a hobby. But how I specifically got into cycling and how I chose this niche, this activity was pretty cool. And so back in 2007, 2008, I am military, been in the military now currently for 17 years, and I was looking for a hobby, and it was family, work, and church. That's all I did. Family, work, church, family, work, church. And that was okay. That was perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. But I, as I mentioned before, being an athlete, I wanted to compete again. I wanted to have an outdoor adventure, something that I could do, go get sweaty and have a great time. And so I was in Fallujah, Iraq, and I was in the MWR, which stands for, and I was in the MWR tent in Fallujah, Iraq, and I was sitting there, guys were playing video games, watching TV, and I think I was probably waiting on my turn to call home because I'm also married. And I've been married now for 15, going on 16 years. And so I came across a bicycling magazine, and I picked up the bicycling magazine, and I looked, I quickly went through this magazine, and the bikes looked phenomenal. And as you all know that are watching this channel, you're probably roadies, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. They had saddles, they had saddle bags, they had tires, they had bikes, you name it, they had it. They had shifters, everything was in this magazine, and I was just like, man, this looks like a really cool adventure to get in. But there was one drawback, and that drawback was the saddle. And you may laugh at me, but the drawback was the saddle. And check this one out. I'm currently riding the Union Sport Moselle saddle, but something of this sort is what caused me to say nah to cycling. The Moselle saddle from Union Sport. So the saddle The saddle was my drawback, and I was like, that small thing goes up in that area, and I was like, I don't know about that, you know. So I put cycling aside. I was like, nope, that's not it. Got back to Mississippi. Deployment was over. Was looking to getting ATVs, fishing tackle, boats, windsurfing, kiteboarding, all these different things I was looking into, and it just was so much money just to even get into the hobby, to even enjoy it. I was just like, you know what, this is not it. And I'm more of an active type hobby person. So anyway, transfer from Mississippi up to the great state of Maryland. Got to Maryland, and everywhere I looked, there were cyclists, men, women, boys and girls, up and down the roads, just cycling. And I was like, man, I want to try that. So in October 2009, I got my first road bike, which is Mistress. I rode her around. I got it from bikesdirect.com. The bike was delivered. I put it together. I took it to the local bike shop, which was Bike Doctor, I believe, in Waldorf, and they checked it, did the mechanics check on it and everything, and all was well. I get to ride around the neighborhood a few times, but that wasn't enough. It wasn't long enough. It wasn't far enough. And so I did my first charity ride, which was in Hunger in Calvert County, and I'll put that link down below. So I did in Hunger in Calvert County, and I think I did like 50 miles or 60 miles. But once it was over, I was like, this is it. This is it. And after that, a gentleman had told me about racing and competing on my bike, and I didn't know anything about any of that. So I did some research and came across Hagerstown Duathlon. And so I signed up for the Hagerstown Duathlon. A buddy of mine went with me. I went up the night before, stayed in the hotel, ate the hotel breakfast, and I went and did the Hagerstown Duathlon. My first time ever. I had trained for it. I would go to parking garages and work on transitioning. I mean, I was really, really serious. Long story short, I ended up getting like 8th or 9th overall and getting first in my age group. And that really drove me. So from there, I started doing CrossFit, was trying to implement my CrossFit with my cycling. And then I transferred from Maryland back to Gulfport, Mississippi. And I tried to bring all my excitement, all my motivation to Mississippi with me, with CrossFit, with cycling, and Mississippi just was not having it. They didn't have anything with CrossFit as of yet. They only had a couple of CrossFit gyms. And I went down to Mississippi without my family. So that was really hard. So anyway, was in Mississippi for 5 or 6 years. I rolled like one time on the trainer, got in my car, and I think I caught a back spasm, and that set me down, and I didn't ride again. Mistress had a rusty chain, just did not tend to her at all, didn't ride or do anything until I got back, or till I got to California, where I am and currently reside right now. Got here to California in April or May of 2017, and met a good buddy of mine named Nooks, whom you guys may have seen in a few videos with Paddock Racing Team. Hooked up with Nooks, and I actually started losing weight, hooked up with him, and then I jumped back on the bike immediately. My wife, for Father's Day, she had got my bike maintenance as I had requested, which was amazing, so thank you, dear. And I got down like 252, and of course at that time I was riding and still riding Spinergy wheels, and the weight limit on those was 250. So I got down to like 252, and I just couldn't hold out anymore. Jumped on the bike, got going, and everything else, guys and ladies and boys and girls, Critwit Roadrunner family, the rest is history. My first major ride was October of 2017, and you can check that video out right there. The first ride with Harold was October of 2017. My first race was Tour de Marietta, and you guys know all about that. And following Tour de Marietta, there was an article written about me. If you would look down in the description below, you will see that there was an article archived now written about me for competing in my first road race, criterium race, and that was what started the Critwit movement. And that's what got me into it. That's what got me into cycling, looking for a hobby. And what helped me to fall in love with cycling was one day was riding, and there was no wind, there was no ambient noise, and just hearing the chain cycle through the gears. That sound was just beautiful. And it just really made me appreciate cycling that much more, let alone seeing all the beautiful sceneries, going to all the amazing places. And that's where one of my mantras came from. Looking down is training, but looking up is therapy. And so that's how I got into cycling. That's how I got into racing. And now I'm in my second year of racing, and I'm loving it. And again, I want to thank you all for learning a little bit more about me. And hopefully you guys will share down in the description below or in the comments below. And I look forward to learning more about you. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for clicking the vid. On to the next one with your boy, C-Dub, aka Whit. Peace.